Are you saying you faked with me?
Yeah.
Wrong. Now you're single.
What do you know about sexual relations?
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
I'm a little worried about being a slut.
You're listening to the Come With Us podcast, talking the good, the kinky, and the ugly. Here are your hosts, Beth, Aaron, and Tina.
Hello, 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 all you sexy holes and poles. And I swear, I think the holes are probably going to be wet and the poles are going to be erect because we are back with...
For not liking doctoral terms, erect is a very medical term.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Stiff? Yeah,
Stiff.
That was the word I was thinking of.
Uptight to me. But okay, stiff. But anyway, welcome to Come With Us podcast. You can tell, but we've got Holly Hotwife with us again for part 2. I'm so excited. I'm Beth Darling, Sexy Genius here from sexyedschool.com. And we're talking to a real life porn star, and it's so interesting. And I like you so much, and I have so much respect for you. I told you before, I've been really excited to have you here, and we could probably do 5 or 6 hours of talking, but we're going to try and limit it. So Aaron's here. Tina's missing out on all the damn fun because she's sick, but poor thing, because she would definitely have a girl crush on you. I have a girl crush on you. I'm just not so into girls sexually, but if I was, I'd be all over her.
Thank you.
I don't know, right? I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'm kind of an old woman, whatever and stuff.
Yeah, it's a very good compliment.
Because I and you mentioned last time, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, you don't have to do it, but really it's interesting and fun. But you mentioned, Holly, that you like energy and that's what intelligence and people's energy is what draws you to them and stuff.
Right.
And I gather you're into boys and girls, males and females.
Yes.
Okay. But I like that too. And there are energies. And I say it's not, chemistry isn't just a romantic something.
Right.
They're also just friends where you meet someone and you go, oh, it's just easy. We know we're going to get along.
No sex may ever happen, but the chemistry, the connection is there for a relationship of some sort.
Yes, that's exactly. And that's how I felt just even messaging you from the very beginning, trying to set this up. So
Same.
It's been very cool. Okay. So we talked last time and we ended with how you met your now hubby. And that was a great story. And now I want to go on boat, but for all sorts of reasons. But okay. So then let's see. And then we had talked about sort of how you got into, you were doing modeling, blah, blah, blah. You got into erotic. So then what was like your did you have an aha moment where it was like, okay, porn is going to be my life, my calling, my mission?
It was kind of, it wasn't a aha moment. It was over the span of like a year, we had just grown so big, so fast.
Where
it takes like, if you go back into major porn star their histories, it takes forever usually to grow into being well known.
Yeah,
and I'm not the most well known or anything like that, but just in that 1 year, it was an aha moment of holy shit, this is moving really fast in a good way. And at one point, my husband and I were like, we don't have to like work like for the man, like we can just do this ourselves and this can be our only income and make really good money. And because we're in the lifestyle, swingers, whatever you want to call it, it's not really work, I mean, it is, but it is also what we enjoy. Whatever the saying is, you'll never work a day in your life as long as you enjoy it, or, whatever that saying is. Yeah.
And I always take issue because I'm thinking, no, as soon as you actually have to make some money at it, there are parts of it that are just work, but I do believe that
there's tons of behind
passionate.
the scenes stuff. There's tons of work behind it, but the aha moment was, wow, we don't actually have to like go to a 9-to-5 job every day.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. And you're passionate about it. That's what I think is the difference, that you really do. And I'm passionate about talking about sex.
Right.
So, you're passionate about doing it. It's pretty freaking cool. So yeah. And Aaron's passionate about radio, audio. Yeah.
Passionate about sleep.
Okay. There you
Food,
go.
sleep, and beer. Or booze.
Right. Well, so tell me, by the time you met your hubby, you already had kids. He had a kid. Tell me how how as a mom you think about going into porn? Like, how does that go through your head? Because I'm sure.
So my kids had known, because I started modeling at 15, and then I got pregnant at 18. They had those 10 years that I was married to my ex-husband, I was not modeling. But whenever I divorced him at 28 years old, I was just kind of getting back into it. And they would see me pull up my pictures on the computer, look at them, see them being edited, and they were not lingerie or anything like that, but glamour fashion, swimsuit, like that kind of stuff. But so they have always known about like the modeling part of it. And they, I'd look at magazines, and look at poses and outfits and fashion, all of that stuff. And so they knew kind of what I was into, and that I did that kind of as a side hustle. So their exposure to porn had never, like they were so young, there was never any exposure to that. But sorry, what was the original question?
So how did you broach it? Like when you started,
right,
when you went into it, because there's one thing about telling
the
your
separation,
kids, but there's also in your head, are you going, oh my goodness, what are my kids going to think? What if they find out? I don't want them to know. Like what was the process?
Once we did get into more of the sexual nature of it, like the porn part of it, and we were, quitting our jobs, making money off of it, doing it, on the sidelines pretty much, because we both have exes with, kids, other parents. When they would go to the other parents' houses, whenever we would, do our work or, fun play stuff. And
were you worried about your exes finding out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was a divorce lawyer. That would be, okay.
They did. We went through custody battles, and it was really hard. A couple of years. My ex-husband told my boys out of spite, trying to make me look bad and trying to.
That's how your boys found out, was because they're, that's a shitty thing to do.
It was very spiteful,
and it hurts the kids.
And they were minors at the time. 17 was my oldest, and they're all 3 years apart. So 17 and 13 and 10, I think. So it was for about a month and a half, they were pretty much like disgusted. And
disgusted with you?
Disgusted with me. And my ex-husband also told them about our lifestyle, the one that me and my husband were leading, as swingers. And it hurt, I was like, what am I going to do? Did this just ruin my kids? Did I ruin my kids? Did he ruin the kids? Like, how is this going to work? A big thing when raising my boys, especially whenever I was a single mom, was because we came from an abusive household with my ex-husband, instead of any angry yelling, stuff like that, we would have, in my household as a single mom, we would have family gatherings, family meetings. Anytime any of the boys got into an argument, family meeting time. Anytime I had something that I needed to, discuss with them, family meeting time. So after about a month and a half, it's like they, in their little secretive time, was like, okay, we got to talk to mom about this at some point. And so they called me in for a family meeting, and they like sat me down.
I love that.
And I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because it's not like they were like ignoring me, but they kind of were. They were were grossed out.
It's hard to figure out. We don't want to think of our parents as sexual beings.
And they didn't want to talk about it either. So I'm like, how do I fix this? And I just was like, give them time. That's all I can do. Because they're like, I don't want to talk about it. I get it.
Yeah.
So they called me into this family meeting, and they said, we don't think like you do. We think it's gross that you and, your Vincent, sleep with other people. Like, and my poor, 10-year-old's going, huh? Like, he doesn't he doesn't even know. I mean, he knows from his friends, but he doesn't really know,
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so, but the two older ones, they said, we don't want you to tell us what to do with our bodies. So we're not going to tell you what to do with yours. And my head was just like, wow, these kids are a little more wiser than I thought.
Good job, mom. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you did good. Wow.
And they said, we know that you've been modeling for years. You're very good at what you do. And these are all in kid terms, like teenage terms, but they're just basically saying, we don't want to hear about it. Don't shove it in our face. You've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years now, and we had no idea until our dad told us. So, well, like, it didn't hurt.
Let's keep it like that.
Let's keep
Yeah.
it like that. Right.
Okay.
And to them, I just said, look, we can talk about it if you ever want to talk about it. I will never go into detail because it's none of your business and it's not appropriate. But if you ever have any questions, if your friends find out, if you want to be able to talk to them, I'm here for consult, like
Good.
I have parent advice. I have life advice. If you don't want to hear it, don't ask me, and I won't give it, but if you do have it, I'm here. And throughout the years, there has been specific times where they needed some advice, they needed some guidance because of what I do.
Yeah.
But it's worked itself out. There's been no issue. They've never been exposed to anything that was, inappropriate for them, not even just for their age, but for them as children, as my children,
Right.
as
So for example, you're not filming porn when they're in the house, right?
Correct.
You're not bringing strangers home.
Right.
in
We
the
don't
middle of the
even
night.
open up our
just-
Twitter, which is an adult Twitter. We don't even open up our Twitter whenever our kids are home.
Yeah.
Facebook, yes. TikTok,
Everybody's
yes.
on. Right.
But anything that has to do with any kind of adult media, anything, they go away so much,
Right.
my 21-year-old, 18-year-old, and 16-year-old, and then 10-year-old, like, and they're with the other parents, they're doing their friends thing. There's, their time is their time with us. And then whenever they're gone, then that's whenever we do our adult stuff.
Yeah.
And so I also, one thing, there's this idea, this sort of popular thought somehow that pornography is exploitive, that it
Right.
takes women who are vulnerable, who are being beaten and down and whatever. And I think it's really interesting. You were actually in an abusive relationship
Mhm.
with your first husband, but that's not when you got into porn, right?
Right.
You actually are in a very happy, healthy, fulfilling relationship with your husband now. And that's when you got into porn.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I think we touched on this just a little bit last time. Whenever I was 15, so coming into the porn world, I grew back into myself with the help of my husband, Vincent. But also, I was raped at 15. It was my first sexual experience. And it kind of, that threw me into the promiscuous part of, I want to take the control back.
Yep.
This is my body, not anyone else's. And now I have goosebumps talking
too.
about it.
Me too.
I wanted to take the power back. Whew, I got goosebumps all up. My cheeks have goosebumps. I wanted to take the power back because it's my body. And I was like, now I'm making the rules,
Yeah.
And ever since then, it was on my dime. It's whenever I say so. And then, I was in the abusive marriage. I was young. I was dumb.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to take care of me. I had daddy issues, my dad was in the picture, but he was very, I say, far away. He didn't know how to bond with the girl. He had a son before me and really bonded with him and just didn't know what to do with a little girl.
I will tell you, for all of the fathers that are out there listening and everything, that the reality is that promiscuity is very often, very frequently linked to
Daddy issues.
to daddy issues, right?
Yeah.
To a lack of a reliable, healthy
Male role model
for girls and
Right.
stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so, again, love your daughters and not in the kinky way here, right? But in a healthy, happy
Supportive,
daughter way,
healthy,
right?
yeah.
Just know that dads, even when your daughters hate you, you're still really important.
Yeah.
and do it well and take that seriously.
Right.
So,
And act like, if you're a girl dad, act like how you would want your daughter to be treated. Most importantly, show them the love and the caring and the respect that they deserve, and make it known that you will always be there, no matter what, and that they can come to you,
right.
and be verbal about hard things.
Yeah.
Goosebumps again.
I know. And it's hard because I know, I grew up with a father who was very uncomfortable with touch.
Right.
So he never touched us. He was so awkward. And again, I know he loved us in his head, and I know he still does. But I just grew up craving touch.
Right.
And then I confused that with sex. So
Right.
I just thought the only way to get touched was to have sex, and
Yeah.
it's taken me years and decades to figure that
And
out.
there's so many
yeah.
different avenues of where you could go from, the lack of the male role model in your life,
Yeah.
and even if you have no father figure, like if your dad, just left or whatever it is,
Yeah.
if you can find as a young, growing girl, if you can find a good male role model, your uncle, your
Yeah.
dad's friend or whatever,
Right. With
with
appropriate boundaries.
appropriate
yeah.
boundaries, yes, then hopefully you can get something out of that, because it was a total lack of what I was needing as an 18-year-old. My ex-husband was 27 at the time, and he was more of the older, and he already had a stepdaughter,
Right.
and I was like, I was 18 and pregnant in high school. I was like, what am I going to do? And he
Right.
was on it. He was like, I'll take care of you.
Right.
I'll love you forever. You can help me raise, my daughter who was 4 at the time. And I'm like, well, I really didn't want any kids, but
Yeah.
but that wasn't, now I'm pregnant and that's really not up to me at that point in time. And I grabbed onto that. I was like, you know what? He says he's going to love me and take care of me. I'll believe him,
Yeah.
And, every baby that we had, those 3 was an I'm sorry baby. It was after he had, physically, verbally abused me at some point in time. And, 2 weeks after, he'd love bomb me and say, oh my God, I love you so much. I'm so sorry, and let's make a baby. And to me, all I heard was, you love me so much. You want to make another baby with me?
Right.
Like
Yes.
you do love me, even though
Right.
all of that stuff like just happened, and like you choked me out and I peed on myself, and
God.
but you do love me. And that's what I heard. And that's how I took it. So then, we'd have another baby and have another baby. And eventually I caught on to, he's a narcissistic abuser. And, I was just young and naive, and I saw how he treated me. My boys started growing. I think my oldest was 8 at the time, and they started seeing how he was treating me. And my 8-year-old started mimicking him.
Ouch.
To me. And I was like, oh, I got to get out of here. I've got 3 men to raise, respectable, honorable men. And I don't want them to be like him. So got out of there, which was, that was a fight.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I think it's important because there are going to be people that I'm sure will hear this story and go, oh, well, that's why, quote, she's fucked up. And I say this, we're all fucked up in our own
There's
way.
no
God
normal.
knows. Right? We all are. But they're going to say, oh, that's why she's into sex. But the fact is, again, you are doing sexy. You are using your body, which is really one of the greatest gifts we get from the divine, whatever it is. And you're using this in a way that is constructive, that you are in charge of. You have a husband, but
it helps me heal.
That's right.
And it really helps me heal.
Right. Learn to love yourself and then to use it and to love others. So I think that
it helped
powerful.
me and my husband build a bond that I never knew existed. Like I didn't know that there was this world out here where you can be married to your spouse who loves you unconditionally, but also and gives you the sexual freedom. And I give him the sexual freedom as well. We have boundaries and things that we, communicate. Some things are good one week, like this boundary is good 1 week, and then no, this not right now.
Yes,
Things have to
change.
It's ever
Exactly.
evolving. It's ever evolving.
Perfect.
But I had no idea that was out there. I knew of this one specific marriage that I had, and I knew that it was not healthy.
Right.
But then to see how I am now in this marriage is. I've grown so much, and because of him and because of a lot of therapy, and because of people who, once we came out to everyone about our lifestyle and about our work that we do, the people who left, we knew were not supposed to be in our lives. And the people who, even if they needed some time to get used to it and they came back into our lives, or the people who just stayed, those are the people who really have helped us heal, and grow and strive and be successful. Yeah. I mean, it takes a village,
It does. And I know, just talking about sexy, I've had friends that couldn't handle it, that have just kind of fallen by the wayside, and it hurts. There's a mourning
process. There's definitely a mourning process. But I think for each one that we lost, we gained so many more, especially in the lifestyle, because I mean, they're all about love and sexual freedom and, supporting each other, because it's a tough world out there whenever, in the porn world or in the lifestyle world, not everyone accepts you for you.
Yeah. That's sad. That's true in the world in general. So
it's like homosexuality or trans or, whatever the case is. It's a hard, tough world out there. And if you don't have supportive people, then it's going to be even tougher.
And I'm into BDSM, and that's another one that people immediately have. And I had this whole idea of what somebody looked like if they were into BDSM, or what a pro dom looked like and stuff. And yeah, it is hard to be yourself, but it sounds like y'all are doing it. It's just, and you're making a damn good living at it too, which is freaking amazing and awesome. So
I'm very blessed.
Yeah. Knock on wood. I really like that. Okay. So can we talk about and you can ask questions too, Aaron. I can keep going on. You know me, I get excited, but tell me about body issues and stuff, because I just can't imagine seeing yourself on film in every, position. You've got legs up, your tummy's like crunch, whatever. I just would be like, oh my God, there's imperfections.
I do not watch my films.
Okay. I get that.
I started off watching my films and would critique it to the point where I was really hard on myself, and I was like, ew, look at that tummy. And I'm not fat. I know that, but I do have extra skin from being a mom 3 times. But look at that tummy roll, or that face that you're making is disgusting. Like,
right.
Like what is this? And I would critique it, and I'd be like, nope, don't put that out. Do not put that out. My husband, he would, what do y'all think about this? Because my husband's like, you're beautiful. You're so sexy. This is hot. I've got, slobber running down my face from slobbing on the knob. Tears are coming down, snot's coming out my nose, and they're like, oh my God, it's so fucking sexy. And I'm like, y'all are crazy. And it took me a while to just go, you know what? Don't watch your videos. Everybody else thinks it's sexy and they're buying it. Like, just don't watch them. Okay. So just didn't watch them. So,
that's
what
an act of courage. Actually, I will tell you, I think that is an act of courage. I think sometimes we need to face our fears,
right?
But sometimes facing it means, okay, just doing it anyway, and then not looking and stuff afterwards. So good for you.
Well, there's not millions, but there are several household names of actors that you would I could, go find a list. And I would go, okay, this person, and I would just list names, and you go, okay, I know all of them. And I go, guess what? They've never watched a damn thing that they've done on film ever. They've got Oscar winners out there who have never watched a minute of themselves on the film. Like, of course, they will sit there during a shoot and watch and see what the director says. Okay, where you did this, I want you to do this instead. But they will never watch the full edited, start to finish, or any of the stuff that on the editing floor. None of that, because they know that their job is, I am good at actually becoming another character. I am good at memorizing the lines, becoming another character, and selling this
the rest
as
is in
entertainment.
Their hands.
That's not my I can do this whether there's a camera there or not. And the fact that there's a camera there is not something I care about.
Right.
So it's not I don't think it's weird at all that you don't watch your own stuff, just because that, again, there's plenty of other $1 million people who make, are on film just, not naked on film, but
the modeling, because I still do model, the stills that I do, I will go through once they've been edited, and I'll pick a few out of there. I'm very particular about the stills that people see, because those are a still picture that you just sit there and look at. There's no movement to it. That's what people see, and that sticks in their brain. The video is ever moving, and of course you can screenshot it or whatever into this horrible looking face, whatever. Yeah. And I would never want to see that ever. But I do look at the edited photos, but not the video.
Yeah. Wow. And it's kind of weird to think about, but wouldn't watching your own videos to a certain point be like a musician listening to their own album while they're driving a car? That's weird. You made the music. You don't need to listen to your own CD in the car or CD. I'm freaking old. You don't need to put on Apple Music while you're driving and go, hey, I just wrote this new album. I'm going to listen to it right now. Like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the artist.
You know how whenever you hear yourself on voicemail or something, you're like, oh my God, is that what I sound like? It's the same whenever I listen or hear my porn playing. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you just sound, I think I sound very nasally and like really annoying. No one else, nobody else cares. But what you sound like to yourself is different from what you sound like on a recording, you know? So it's not like I'm going to go listen to all my oohs and ahs and
Okay. So do you have questions?
I mean, no, I'm just,
okay. I just feel bad. Just go. Okay.
I probably will. And
Okay.
that's why we're going to have to do another one of these in the future.
We can do more and more.
Oh my God, this is so much fun.
But yeah.
Okay. So I want to know, you said last time that sometimes shooting could take, 8 to 10 or 11 hours or something. So, and there's a lot of actual fucking, like pussy fucking. And how do you stay wet the whole time? Or
so you remember how I
interested?
said that it's stop and start and stop and start. You're actually not fucking the entire time. You're doing scene by scene by scene. So say we start off in the living room, and there's a scene in the living room. So whatever scenes that, like, even if the scene goes from living room to bedroom to bathroom to living room to kitchen, we'll do all the scenes that need to be done in the living room while we're in the living room. Even if we have to change clothes, so it's, get all of that done that's in the living room. And then it's stop, everybody, all the production part, lights, cameras, all of that stuff. Then we move into the next room and I'm getting my makeup refreshed. I'm using the bathroom. I'm getting, some water.
So is there a lot of lube or something?
Oh yeah, there's tons of lube.
Okay.
The guys, some are just very skilled and, getting erect, as you like to say, on time, and it's easy peasy. Or sometimes, they might take, Viagra or Cialis or whatever. The only thing about that is it's very hard to come on those.
Yes.
So
I hate it when my guy,
from what I've heard is they take it like the night before. That way it's, it's still in their system to where they can get hard pretty much on command. And then whenever it is time to, do the duty, then they're not the duty. That sounded bad.
They're ready to come.
They're
on
ready
the
to come. The money shot. There you go.
So crazy. And do you actually enjoy like fucking when you're on a set?
I do.
A turn on?
I'm an exhibitionist. I love to be watched. I don't care if it's from one person or 20 people. I don't care. I love to be watched. I'm a voyeur as well. So, it does.
So it doesn't get boring. You don't
at all, especially if somebody's watching now.
Okay, that's cool.
If somebody's, I feel like I'm. I don't know how to put it. Like, it's not like that I'm putting on a performance. It's like, do you think this is hot? I think this is hot. Do you think it's hot? Like, what does this look like? Because if it's turning them on, then it's turning me on. So, I say that I get, because I'm a submissive romantically in BDSM. And that's what it is. When somebody else is turned on by me, that turns me on. Right. It feels powerful.
Yes. I don't know. It just, flattering,
powerful, both. Yep. That's exactly how it feels to me.
Anal. Do you do anal in porn?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
I did I have enjoyed anal experiences. I used to do it. I don't know if y'all want me to tell the story of why I don't do it.
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Especially if it's messy.
It is.
I figured.
Messy.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay. And it's okay. It's a little messy. So anyway, it was my birthday probably 5-6 years ago now. And for my birthday, I wanted to be airtight. Do y'all know what airtight is?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so airtight, for those who don't know,
is
a dick in the mouth, sitting on a dick, and then having a dick in your ass at the same time.
Okay.
All at the same time. So you're airtight.
Yeah.
So I wanted that for my birthday.
Yeah.
And so me and my husband made a event, a party, and we invited 2 other couples, and this took place in Galveston, Texas. And we got like an Airbnb, and on the first night we like went out on the Strand and had a good time, and with these 2 other couples that we're very good friends with and our lifestyle friends. And one other dude, which I called my birthday present because I had always wanted to fuck him. He had a Coke can size dick, so like the size of this, the bottom of this, like huge.
Wow.
Not as long as this cup, but a very good size. And so I called him my birthday present. So we go out on the Strand, have a good time, go back to the Airbnb. It's only like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And we still have, 3 days of, fun and play to do this whole weekend for my birthday. So, we're getting busy in the room, everybody's playing, and they're like, oh yeah, Holly wanted to be airtight for her birthday. And I was already sitting on my husband, riding him. And so my other friend came and stood in front of me, like where the headboard is. He was like standing like above my husband's head. So I'm sucking him off. And then my birthday present came and like just shoved his dick inside of me. No lube, no spit, nothing.
Wait, in your ass?
Uh-huh.
And he's like Coke can side?
Uh-huh.
Ow,
Uh-huh.
ow,
But
ow.
because I was
Ow.
so into it, it was ow, but I was so into it, and it was like I was wanting it, and I was
Wow.
in the moment.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Context
loved
is
it.
everything.
And so it's no fault on him.
Right.
He should have probably put some lube or, fingered me in there or something to get me, warmed
Yes.
up. He didn't, but because I was like, put it in,
Okay, well, at least, yeah. So it wasn't
not on him.
non-consensual, right?
Right. It was
just,
not on
okay.
him. I will
Everybody
never
got
place
carried
the
away.
blame on him. It was all me because I was in the moment.
Okay.
So anyway, we wrapped things up. It was great. Felt good. Everything was fabulous. We're all going to bed. I wake up like early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning. Everyone is still asleep. I think we're going to the beach that day, going out to eat and then to the beach. And I wake up, I'm like, oh, I have to pee. So, I'm like stumbling to the bathroom, going pee. All of a sudden I feel like warmness running down my legs. And I'm like, am I pissing on myself? Like,
Oh
what?
my
And I
God.
look down and it's shit.
Oh my God.
It's like not like logs of shit, but just like juices. I'm like,
Oh.
oh no. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, oh God, he went in with no lube or anything. I didn't get warmed up. I just told him to stick it in and he did. And so I'm like running like with my legs kind of close to the bathroom. And I'm hoping to God nobody wakes up because like it's like dripping. Like I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So, I use the restroom. I, just like grab some like toilet paper, like stick it in between my legs. And I'm like crisscrossing, walking, got Clorox wipes from underneath the sink. I'm like wiping down everything, from the bedroom to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so then I just go sit on the toilet and I'm like, I have 3 more days to go and I've got shit running down my legs. What am I going to do? The whole weekend, I was pretty much, I say, like under construction because I had to wear a panty liner wherever we went. I had no sex for the rest of the weekend. Everybody else was playing, and I can do things with my mouth and stuff, but nothing down there. And so, yeah, it kind of, I don't want to say it ruined, but it put a damper on the birthday. And then ever since then, I've tried to put I like fingers and stuff like that, tongues. I love all of that. Tried to put a toy in and it's like I have PTSD now.
Yeah.
So it's in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it, but like I'll get in that zone where I want to do it. And then whenever something goes in there, I'm like, no, never mind. I don't want to do it.
So what I love, and I appreciate you sharing this. It's hard to be vulnerable and to share some of these things that
I'm
really,
an oversharer. So
I totally like that. I think we need more of that and stuff.
But there's also, going to the fact that because we have, our audience is predominantly male, but we have quite a few female listeners and we have quite a few listeners who are couples. So the fact that you professionally have sex and you're in the lifestyle and all that stuff, and you're like willing to admit that I had anal and it went, yeah, there's other couples I willing to bet that at least 3 women who listen to our podcast are scared of death of doing anal because of that.
Right.
Where you can it happened to you and now you can laugh about it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, maybe it's not that, but some of them are probably going to be mortified at the time. Yes.
Right.
But eventually you just move on from it.
There's so much that you can do to make it pleasurable. And like I said, before that, I had such good pleasurable experiences. In the porn world, you need to clear your stuff out.
Yeah, I was going to say
douche
enemas
and all of
or
that.
something.
Yeah, enema and douche and all
Yeah.
of that. And make sure it's all lubed up. Play with it for a little bit. Wear the butt plugs. Get stretched out. There's so much to do.
And don't do it on full tummies. Don't do it
Yeah.
after you've eaten probably big meals.
Fast, for 6 hours before, so that everything is digested. Take an Imodium before. That way they're nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
There's things that you can do, and it can be very pleasurable if you're into that thing. But now I just have this like I said, this PTSD thing that prevents me from even going even to that level where I want it.
Yeah.
But it's just stuck in my head now that it's going to be
That's
that way
funny.
forever. But maybe
Yeah,
not.
which it
Maybe
won't be.
not.
No, as soon as you decide that you
Yeah.
want to change it, you will.
Right.
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 That's just, yeah. So, I know I'm not a big fan of people just kind of douching in their butt, because then I think it loosens everything and
Right.
really tempts everything to come
Well,
out.
you have to
but
do it like
you
hours
right,
before.
You have to do it hours
Yeah.
before. And yeah, you have to put enough in there that you really clean everything
Yeah.
out. If you just
You
clean
got to
a
know
little
what you're
bit,
doing.
it's not good. So,
Right.
but generally I would also say, if a guy's a normal size cock and it just goes up and you haven't eaten a big
No
meal and stuff,
issues,
it's
yeah.
usually no issues,
It's
no big deal.
very
So
simple, yeah.
but okay. Well, that's funny because I was wondering on porn sites and stuff. I gather they take it very seriously
They
about how
do.
clean you are and stuff. So,
They do.
okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about testing and stuff on porn sites and stuff, because I know we're going to have to wrap up again. But
Okay.
just
So quickly, there's a,
safety.
I call it a website, but I mean, it's a service. It's called Talent Testing Services, and you can look it up. It's what most porn production companies use and want. It's a full panel test. I think the only thing that it doesn't test for is like herpes. I think that's it.
Yeah.
If I recall. But we use that, and it's kind of expensive if you're, not used to it.
Mhm.
Or if you don't have like a production company paying for it, or sometimes they'll give you like discount codes and stuff like that. But
you feel safe. Like you feel
very,
protected.
very safe.
Okay.
And of
That's
course,
important.
once you get tested, please do not go and have unprotected sex the day after you get tested. Like, please don't. That defeats the purpose.
Right. And the reason they don't test for herpes, as I understand it, is because
it's like
herpes
90%
is
of the population has it.
Exactly. And even people who are asymptomatic may have it. And
that
stuff.
would take out the, probably 90% of the whole porn world, So,
right.
I mean, but it tests for everything else. And it's a lucrative, like a legit talent or testing service.
It probably is lucrative to the owners.
Probably,
too.
yes. Oh, yeah. Especially if you get like the
reliable.
Expedited, like if you've
yeah.
waited too long and you have to have your test within, 72 hours, then, they can expedite it for like another $150.
Yeah, right. They just make fortune. Okay. And then my very last question is just, so you have sex for money and stuff, but then you also have sex with your husband.
Right.
Do you still enjoy it? Are there times when, does it ever feel like a job, or does it ever feel boring with your husband?
No, it never feels boring. And this is going to sound, well, okay. So let's explain what a hot wife is really quick. So
Yes,
a hot
please.
wife is a married female that her husband allows her and encourages her to go and have do naughty things, have sex with other people, and then come home and reclaim. I call it coming home. And we reclaim the bond that we have, because at the end of the day, that's who I want to go home with, or go home, to, is my husband.
Okay.
And I do the hot wifing thing, not just for my pleasure, but for his. That's what gets him off. He's a very mental fantasy person, where I'm very physical. I fantasize, 5% of the time, where he's 100% of the time, because I'm the body, I'm in the moment all the time. I'm the one doing it. He loves to play the long game, and whenever I come home, I tell him about all the naughty, sexy, dirty things that I did. And usually I have it on film or pictures. And I call him a pillow princess. He likes to lay down and while I ride him, and he's looking at the phone, and I'm, riding him, and he'll go, okay, tell me about this. And so I'll like lean down and whisper in his ear and he's looking at the phone, and I'm riding him and just whispering in his ear at the same time, all the things, that I did in that one specific thing. And we have the most, like, him and I are very slow, passionate lovers. We're not sitting there, banging it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we have before, but it's not our thing. We're very slow and passionate whenever we have sex. And there's a lot of, talking about, how dirty I was, and he loves that. That's what turns him on. So
I love that. And I think, again, there's so many people who are like, oh, wow, that's so weird, right? That we love to think. I say, what turns you on, I think is crazy.
Right.
What turns me on, you think is crazy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We say, don't yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah, there you go, and stuff. Just go. I love to go, oh my God, tell me more. But I think that maybe what people can understand the hot wife is, I say it's like somebody who's got a Ferrari or a really fucking amazing car. They're so excited about it. And sometimes they'll let somebody else drive that car, and they want to know, tell me, what did you love when the engine went vroom? Did you get turned on? You know,
right.
And hearing somebody else's pleasure about their car, gun, I don't know, whatever the hell it is, right?
Sharing is caring.
That's
man.
it. So
my husband, he says all the time, there's nothing better in the world than looking at your wife and seeing the most beautiful porn star in the world, like do in her element, you know.
I love
and
that.
not even if I wasn't a porn star, even if we were just in the lifestyle, he would still call me a porn star, because that's what he thinks in the moment of me, you know, him watching me fuck someone else or just be dirty, you know, playing with someone else. Right. He thinks that I'm the most beautiful porn star in my element, doing, you know, what I'm, you know, there to do. And he loves that. So.
I like that. Yeah. He's got something that everybody wants.
Yes.
Which is really awesome.
Yeah. So. He has that, you know, little, what do you call it, RC car that everybody wants to play with.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. I know I got to stop. So Aaron, you've been so quiet.
No, I mean, again, I can't think of anything just because like my mind's already whoosh going. But yeah, I
want to go watch some of your films. So okay. Tell people again, where can they find you?
All right. So my name is Holly Hotwife, and you can go to onlyfans.com/Holly Hotwife. You can find all of my other links to all of my other platforms on Twitter at Holly Hotwife. Make sure that there are no X's or numbers or letters behind Holly Hotwife, because those are imposters. It is only at Holly Hotwife. And I would also like to do a little shout out for my sports gambling podcast, or sports gambling Twitter page that is I'm stumbling my words, at Sports Map Elite. Just go check it out if you're into sports or sports gambling or porn or Holly.
Good. And you guys have your own production company.
My husband is in the process of building his production company. It's VJ Media, and it should be coming out, I'm guessing, in about the next 6 months, if not sooner.
Okay. So again, Holly Hotwife on Twitter, then you'll put that in your link tree when you've got it.
Yep.
And that way, if people want to submit amateur porn or something, or work with y'all, they can find you there.
Yes.
Right?
If there's if you're interested in ever starting an OnlyFans account, do not start one until you talk to my husband first. And his on Twitter is at, hang on, Vincent Jones. XXX, I believe. Shoot, I'll get it for you the next time.
We'll get it. We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show. There you go.
Put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
That
and that way you can get under our referral. And whenever you do that, this is very specific that you need to know. You will be not awarded, but you'll have all of the fans that we have on your page already. So you won't have to market yourself from beginning, like starter OnlyFans. You'll be, just lost my words. You'll have all the fans that we have, basically.
Awesome. To see if they like you.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, Holly Hotwife, thank you. This was so much fun. Again, we'd love to have you back anytime. I can't wait to have Vincent on here. You can come with him. You can come. He can come by himself. You know, whatever. Y'all can come as many times as you want to. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here with us at Come With Us podcast. I'm Beth Darling, sexy genius from sexyedschool.com, and Aaron. Thank you for helping arrange this introduction. This was fantastic. And all right, we are going to wrap. It's the bare naked truth about love, sex, and relationships here on Come With Us podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Come With Us podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media at Come With Us podcast, and send in your questions, comments, and confessions to comewithusconfessions@gmail.com. Until next time, keep it fun, flirty, and naughty.